right, good morning. Welcome back to the shop. I know it's been a while. Got super busy. As always, it's the summertime, so there's a lot of stuff to do. Work is busy as normal, or it's slowing down a little bit. So election year, people can't figure out what they want to do, and it's always like that. So anyway, what's going on? It's, what is it, mid-September, or it's getting ready. It's the beginning of September, and I'm trying to get my yard ready for reseeding. If you live in North Carolina or in that transition zone, it's time to aerate and overseed. So if you want a pretty yard next year, this is the time you do it. You don't wait around till spring to start getting it ready. You do it now. So we've been working on a few things. One thing was doing the concept of turning my old Cub Cadet lawnmower that I've had for 20 years into a sprayer. Excuse me. It's and it's worked great. I didn't want, I wanted something that would do it fairly fast. Most sprayers are fairly slow. So this one, I kind of designed it where it would spray really fast, almost at mowing speed. Not quite mowing speed, but I wanted good components. So instead of using the inexpensive T-Jet nozzles, I used McMaster Carr's flat spray nozzles that they have. It's more for foaming, but they work great for this, especially at low pressure. So you can put really big droplets and it doesn't mist. So we have three sprayers on here. It sprays about a mower, well, maybe 2 mower widths wide. So you drive down the mower track that you mowed, and then it'll spray halfway into the next one either side. When you come back, you just overlap coverage. It works out great. And it sprays about 2 gallons per 1,000 square feet, which is perfect for my area around here. So I've been spraying some like humic acid and stuff from Greene County that I buy from a local lawn and turf place here in Greensboro. So if you're not familiar with GCI turf, if you like, pretty grass, look at his stuff. He lives in Greensboro, and we're notorious in this area for having that red clay, and his yard is pretty nice, not gonna lie. So yeah, I love a nice yard. My wife sits on the front porch. She likes watching her birds. She likes looking at the pretty yard. So we try to keep the front yard pretty. So I have an acre that I have to keep up of grass, just grass. So it's a little challenge sometimes. So our future plans is to put irrigation into the front yard. And my neighbor had a big blooming cherry tree, beautiful tree. And I didn't want to hurt it. And the only place I could really dig a trench to get to the front yard, because I have a wraparound driveway, is to go next to his cherry tree, which is, plenty of room on my property, but that tree is real close to my property also. So I woke up one morning and heard chainsaws. I looked out back and they were cutting it down. So he hired an arborist to thin his trees out, and he cut that tree down. So I don't have to worry about digging a root and killing his tree. So onwards with the in-the-ground sprinklers. Hope maybe next year. We get everything done on the house. Still got to do the roof, but it's like still in, the highs get up into the 80s, and it's just too hot to do that, especially black metal. So we're still collecting 2x4s. You can see them piled up there on the back. I think I have enough to do all the stripping. So most people, when you put metal over shingles, they use 1x4s. I decided to use 2x4s. I said I'm a big guy, and I figured the 2x4s would help make it look flatter, and I want 2x4s, so I'm gonna use 2x4s. The price isn't that much, especially if you buy them through the year. So I usually, if I have a big project, I'll buy through the year. So like when we get ready to do those sprinklers, I'll start buying. I'll make a list of all the stuff I need, and I'll just every trip I go to Lowe's, I'll pick up a bag of fittings, pick up a roll of funny pipe, order the sprinklers, whatever. I'll just pick up what I need. A little bit at a time, and then before you know it, you have all the material to do it. Then you just have to find the time to do it. But this video, I don't have sprinklers in the front yard, so we're going to make some. And these are what I build. So they're very inexpensive to build, especially if you own a home. More than likely you're doing your own plumbing repairs. I would think you would. Some of it's not hard. So the PEX pipe for the sprayer. My house is older, so it's all copper. Anytime something happens to the copper, I don't even mess with it. I just replace it with PEX. This stuff, it lasts, never. I haven't ever seen a problem with PEX pipe. Even freezing, it'll handle a little bit of it. It goes together good. You don't have to be so precise in your pressing on your fittings because you can rotate it afterwards. So I really like PEX pipe, so I use it wherever I can. But the sprinklers, you know, I still have a supply of anything on the inside of the house is PEX, on the outside is PVC. So I keep a assortment of 1 inch and 3/4 inch fittings here at the house. So the only thing I really needed to buy for this project was I bought a timer. I think it was 50 bucks at Lowe's. Never used one. It works on the spigot. So, you know, like I said, it'll go from the well to the house out to the spigot in the front. So I might not have the flow for these big heads. So we'll see. The gallons per minute, you know, they take a pretty good, but it works great with these. This is my old, and I still love these nozzles. These are Rainbird's rotary nozzles. So if you've ever seen lawns that have the fingers that come out and rotate, so, you know, if you live in the Carolinas or any part that's got this hard red clay, you don't want to dump a bunch of water on at one time. You want it to do it slowly, and these heads do very good at slowly. But I need, since I'm getting ready to aerate and plug, aerate, and then overseed, all the money that you spend on grass seed, you don't want to waste, so you want to keep it moist. So I decided to use the new to me, Hunter heads. I think they're PGPs and or PJPs. You'll see it in the video. But anyway, I'm going to build some new sleds. I had 4 or 5 of these. This one here is probably 10 years old, and honestly, I can't find the other 2. So we're going to build some new ones. These were made for in the backyard when I did the backyard, so they were made so you could hook hoses together. And I have plenty of gallon per minute out here. I have it after it comes out of my well, it goes into a 2-inch pipe, and you get all the gallons you need there. So, but in the front I don't. So what I did was I bought a timer that has 4 hose hookups to it, and I'm gonna build 4 of these. They'll be at a 3/4, but this is the basic construction. A T, or a crossover. You can do it in many ways, but this is the basic concept of it. So I'll probably put a crossover here, go straight across, and then make a square. You can drag it around the yard. I've never had one of these break that I know of, unless it broke and my wife tried to hook it up and it leaked and she just chucked it. So who knows, she might have thrown it away. I can't find them. But anyway, this is the one that's always been in the front yard, and I just hit dry spots with it. So, but anyway, enough of that. Let's go to the back of the shop, relocate everything, and we'll see about getting some of these built. Be back in a minute. Okay, we made it out to the back of the shop. This is the woodworking shop, and the reason you haven't seen a lot back here is it's usually a mess. Right now, this is my big table. It's, I don't know, 6 by 12, big table. And it's mostly full of lathe parts. I'm from rebuilding the lathe up front. All the parts that's been redone, cleaned up, ready to put back on is back here. So, but the reason I came back here is because I'm gonna cut the pipe with the chop saw. You can use anything you want. You know, I have these small cutters that I use mostly for PEX. And then I have these bigger cutters that you can use for the PVC. But if, you know, one off or in a ditch, these are perfect. But if you're in the shop, you know, you might as well use the chop saw. So, you know, lucky enough to have a, you know, pretty good size shop. So that's what we use. The main reason I'm not back here most of the time that you haven't seen here lately is because it's hot. This part of the shop's not air conditioned. And I don't know if you can hear it, but my, the fan is on in the spray room, so it sucks the air through here, so at least I get a little flow. And I'll turn the dust collector on here in a minute as soon as we start cutting, so hopefully maybe it'll draw some of these PVC chips out, or I might not. Might just let them collect and I'll just throw them away in there. They dump into a area in the backyard I should say. It's more woods, and I'll grab that stuff and I'll spread it over the yard. It's sawdust mostly, so let it compost a little while and then spread it over the yard. But what we're going to do is we're going to figure out the measurements for these things. So this is basically the size I want. So let me grab a tape measure. So we're going to make roughly this. Oh, looky here. So that's what you call, somebody probably borrowed the chop. Somebody borrowed the used the saw and left the tape measure out. Probably chucked the end of the blade off. So I have to check the saw blade for missing teeth. But they know not to throw these away. Being a ham radio operator, you can make tape measure antennas. So if you've ever done any direction finding, these are great in the woods. Every once in a while, we call it a fox hunt. We'll take a radio transmitter and we'll hide it in the county somewhere, and it's just for fun. And it's great experience finding RF leaks and stuff like that. You can detect it. So we build our own little antennas, and these tape measures make great ones, because if you hit a tree with a rigid tube, like if you can imagine this is aluminum tube, you know, it doesn't give. But a flexible tape measure, here's another one, hopefully the end's on this one. So if you build your tape measure and you hit a tree, well, it just folds up. So it's really good. So we just cut these off, we round the corners off and plastic dip them or tape them up or whatever. But you make antennas with this thing. Anyway, that's why they don't throw them away. So, but back to the task at hand is making sprinkler bases. So it's basically, looks like 11 by 11. So sounds like a good measurement to me. So that's what we're going to do. So the main thing I need to do is this section right in the middle. This middle section has a T in it. So I need to cut this one first and at least fit it together, and then I can get the length measurement for this pipe, and then I'll have the two ends for this pipe. So this T and this T, which I'll probably put a cross in here, and just, I don't know, we'll figure it out as we go. But it'll be a cross, a T, and a T. So we need this piece first, and then these pieces will fall in. So let's do that. So I'll measure this out, figure it out, and then it's just a bunch of cutting. So we might speed this up, and might just dub over the video, speed it up and just let me talk, because it takes a while to cut out all these, and I know you don't want to hear it talk. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll carry on. And I do have to say, if you're not comfortable doing this, don't use this saw. I've been a woodworker for 20 years, or golly, longer than that. So I've always had this rule of thumb. These plastic inserts, you'll find them on these kind of saws, you'll find them on table saws, anything that has that kind of insert. My rule is never to get inside of that. So if you look down here, you see there's almost 3 fingers of guard between the edge of that and the guard, and then I have another 2 inches out, or probably 1.5 inches out there. So I know if I grab the pipe and I'm way out here and I'm anchored on that stop block, there's no way that can go into there. You can't be a fool and chop down on it real fast, but it might grab and then suck you in like that. But if you just take your time, 30, 40 years, look, Ma, all fingers. So that should be all I need for that length. So you always have to end up buying more of this. I don't know what they've done to the formula of the glue, but that stuff will turn to jelly. Matter of fact, I'm sure I got a can of it around here. This stuff will turn to jelly. This one is last year, so nothing. So they need to make really small cans of this stuff. But I usually go ahead and buy it. It's gone. So we'll throw that one away, and I always get a new can. Of course, I've probably got 4 or 5 cans of primer everywhere. So we won't need the primer, but I usually buy a pack like that so I can have it. So let's put that there. Make sure that opens. This I might have to go get a. Whew, that one's tight. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Had to run to the front and get a pair of channel locks, but you see, nice and liquid. Even this has got a little jelly on the top of it. But either way, we need to glue this together. either one of these sections, because either the cross T or the regular T, you know, I need to get this measurement because now I need to cut those pipes to get the parts without the fittings in the middle of them. So it's a pretty simple process. You know, I don't know if this is mandatory for sprinklers, but I figured what the heck, you got it out. You know, if you want them to last a while, you might as well prime them. So it doesn't take a lot, because as you can see, if you drip, you're going to make a mess. So just run it around. So I'll do all this, and then those are ready to go. So and with that, the same thing with the glue. It doesn't take a lot. Of course, you know, the first one you always make a mess on, or I do anyway. Outside, inside, push it together, quarter turn. There, done. Next one, try not to get as much on this one. There we go. That's much better. More isn't better, that's for sure. So you get that, put it together, push it together, quarter turn, done. So, you know, once that sets up, good to go, not going anywhere. So we'll get the measurement for that. Make sure I close up my glue. Knowing my luck, that stuff will jelly in 5 minutes and I have to run to the store. So we don't want that to happen. So I grab that tape measure, broken tape measure again. So now we need to cut 7 inches. How'd that work out perfect? So 7-inch pot pieces. So that'll make up that'll make up the section, well, this section here, this one and these 3 here. I'm sorry, these 2. It'll have a T in this end, a cross in this end, and the 2 straight ones. So we need the 2, I keep on doing it this way. The camera's over here, George. This piece and this piece. So if you wanted to make it where you connect them together, you would just build a cross, a piece and 2 pieces with a T. Then you could hook the hose into that one and run it out to your next one. But I'm doing just individual ones this time because I got those hunters, these big hunter heads, and I think that'll be enough. So if not, you know, all it is cut, glue, and a T, or make another one. I mean, they're inexpensive, and I have, like you've seen, I haven't even used one pipe, and I've already cut up enough for most of it already. Might not even use but one. And like I said, this is my 3/4 pipe bucket, so anytime I'm at Lowe's, I just kind of glance in there, and if I see I need tees, I'll pick up a bag of tees. If I need elbows, I'll pick up a bag of elbows. So whatever it is, you know, and it all goes in the appropriate bucket. I got a 5-gallon bucket for the 1-inch stuff just because it's bigger. So, but either way, let's get them cut. 7 inches. Let's try that again. Look at there. Perfectamundo. So let me lay this out and we'll get to cutting again. All right, we've got all that cut out. As you can see, it's a little warm back here. I missed the air conditioning shop. So we may move all this stuff up to the air conditioning to put it together. Let me get all these parts cut out and I'll bring you back. All right, we got all of our pieces cut. Now it's going to be a little bit of assembly time. So I need to get these pieces out of here. So let's do a basic rundown with how it's going to look like anyway. We'll do a little dry fit so you get the gist of it. So these are the short ones. Those are the risers. So we need 2 of these. We'll go here and here. And then a T, another T would go here. Another short piece, a short piece here and here. Elbows here, here. Oh, that cross piece don't go there. Duh. Riser goes here. See, this is why you dry fit the stuff. Is that a long one or short one? Not short, long ones. They go. 7-inch one goes here, like so. Let's see. I don't think it gets that one there. I think I bought different kind of fitting for there. This goes here. A couple elbows out here. If I can find them. Here and here with 2 more short ones, like that. And then we put a brass fitting in here for the hose bend. And then we put there's a bushing. Should be a male adapter. like so. Oh, it did though. So we will need a riser. Put the riser here, this here, and the sprinkler goes on top like so. Just like that. That's what we're gonna do. So let me glue these up. There you go. One sled ready to go. 3 more to go. I don't put the sprinkler on yet. So what I'll do is I'll go out to the thing, hook it up to the water, and blow anything that's in the water hose or anything that's left over here, shavings, whatever from building these, and then we'll do that. And I'll Teflon tape these. But you know, and you can run Teflon tape and screw it in there till you don't break anything. So we'll do that, and then the next time I'll see you in the yard. We'll do that, and these are so specific to whatever brand you buy. I probably won't show you how setting this up, but it's just a water timer. 4 hoses hooked to it, put batteries in it, set your time, and then grab a beer, let the yard water. So I'll take you back out in the yard when I get this part done. See you in a little bit. All right, we've made it out in the yard and got one of them put together. So what we're gonna do first, I'm not gonna hook it to the timer first, I'm just gonna see how it works. I went ahead and threaded this in with some Teflon tape. And then I got a male adapter up here on the front or the top to accept the sprinkler. So before we turn it on, we're going to thread this on and run some water through it. Get all the spiders and whatever has been collected in the hose over the last week or so, and to flush out any chips from here. So let me go turn that water on, and we'll flush that out first. Maybe you can see that. So we'll let that run for a second, get all the crap that's in there out of there, as all the old pickup trucks come riding by the house. I know how Pete feels now. At least nobody's blowing the horn yet. That ought to be good enough. So let's put the sprinkler on there and put it out there and see how it does. Be right back. So that's not bad. That's with a 3 gallon a minute nozzle in there. So it's throwing, I'd say 20, 25 feet with one hose hook to it. So I think this is going to work out great. So that's it for the sprinkler build. I think that's going to work great. It covers, with 4 of them, I think is going to mainly get the area I need covered. So and, I think that's going to work great. We'll hook the timer up, get the 3 of them built, and I'll see if I can get a shot of that, and then we'll close out this video. Anyway, see ya. Oh, this is my little boy Quentin too. So if you need lawn maintenance done and you're in the Rowan County area of North Carolina, give him a holler. Easy Green. See ya.